All right, if you came looking for help on the energy transfer among organisms review worksheet, you came to the right spot. All right, so here we go. The study of how organisms interact with their environment. The study of, usually that ends with ology, like biology. This one is going to be ecology, which is basically the study of ecosystems, ecology. The combined parts of Earth, or this thing, in which all living things exist. Here's our little word bank. That's the biosphere. Biosphere. The biosphere is all life on Earth. Trees, algae, and phytoplankton can make their own food, so they don't need to eat. So we call those guys right here autotrophs. Autotrophs. Remember, they're also called producers. Means the same thing. 4. Organisms like us and squirrels, cats, dogs, monkeys that need to eat. We're not autotrophs, we're heterotrophs. Remember, that's also called being a consumer because we have to consume food. 5. An organism's feeding level is called its trophic level. Trophic level. Trophic level. So the producers at the bottom of the food chain, that's a trophic level. The things that eat the producers, the plants, the primary consumers, that's a trophic level. Then you keep going up. Secondary consumers, that's another trophic level. Some producers use chemicals like sulfur to make food. They don't use sunlight. So that would be called chemosynthesis. Chemosynthesis. So they make their food using the energy in chemicals, not the energy in light. When they, usually they use sunlight, and then that would be photosynthesis. So they make their food using light. Photo means light. Synthesis means to make. So it's to make using light. 7, just a straight vocabulary term. The total amount of living tissue in a trophic level, that's called the biomass. Biomass. Bio means life. Mass basically means like weight. So it's like, hey, how much does all the life weigh in that trophic level? Biomass. And blank consumes both producers and meat. So it eats both plants and animals. That's an omnivore. Omnivore. So like we're an omnivores because we eat plants, producers, and we also eat animals, meat. All right, say if it's true or false, and if it's false, make it true by changing this underlined word. So the first statement is, autotrophs must consume other organisms for food. That's false. I'll put an F. To make it true, that would be heterotrophs. Heterotrophs, all right, or consumers. Now that sentence would be true. Heterotrophs must consume other organisms for food. That's true. But autotrophs, that's false. 10, decomposers break down dead organisms. That's true. I'll just put a T. 11, when organisms eat other organisms, a lot of energy is lost as heat. That's true. Remember the 10% law. Only 10% of the available energy is passed on when one organism eats another. 90% gets lost mainly as heat. Bacteria deep on the ocean floor use sulfur to make food in photosynthesis. That's false. Because at the bottom of the ocean, there's no light, so they can't do photosynthesis. That's false. They're going to use chemosynthesis. Chemosynthesis. All right, there's the bell to go to 8th period. 13, in an energy pyramid, the top level has the most energy available to it. That's false. The top has the least. That's false. To make it true, it's the least. Because a pyramid is big on the bottom and really pointy and small on the top. It's a triangle. So remember, the 10% law, only 10% gets passed every time it goes up the food chain. So the ones at the top have the least amount of energy. 14, I don't expect you to know this. Organisms need water to make proteins, enzymes, and nucleic acids. We're going to put false. And they need the element nitrogen. Nitrogen. All right, what's an ecological pyramid? It's a shape that shows the relative amount of energy and biomass in each trophic level. And we're going to do a couple ecological pyramids on the bottom, so you'll be able to see it. Explain the 10% law. All right, that's where only 10% of available energy is passed when one organism eats another. So when a deer eats grass, the deer's only getting about 10% of all the energy that's available. And when something eats the deer, like say a bear, the bear is only going to get about 10% of the available energy in the deer. And it's only going to get 1% of the available energy that was in the grass that the deer ate. So that's a 10% law. 90% of the energy gets lost. And it's kind of explaining or confusing, but it's not that big of a deal. What happens to the relative number of organisms as you move up an ecological pyramid? Well, remember, a triangle is big at the bottom and very small at the top. So the number of organisms go down. Number of organisms goes down higher up the pyramid. And you can do this, if you go to the mountains. I guarantee you, 100% of the time you go to the mountains, you're going to see some producers. You're going to see grass. You're going to see bushes, flowers, and stuff like that. Because that's at the bottom of the food chain. They're all over the place, plants. But how about the top of the food chain, like a bear or a mountain lion? That's much rarer because there's a lot more plants than there are bears or mountain lions. 4, a lion stalks, kills, and eats an antelope. He only eats meat. What are 4 ecological words that can describe the lion? Well, he's a heterotroph because he has to eat to get his energy. He's also a consumer because that means the same thing as heterotroph. He's also a carnivore because he only eats meat. And he's also a predator because he stalks and hunts other animals for their food. Remember, you have predator, that's who's doing the eating, and you have his prey, that's the animal that he's eating. What do arrows in a food chain and food web indicate about the flow of energy? Well, it shows which direction the energy is moving. So if there's an arrow from grass to rabbit, that means the energy is going from inside the grass and it's going into the rabbit. The rabbit is getting its energy from grass. How is the flow of energy different from that of matter? All right, this one, it's kind of confusing, but they say energy is an open system because we get new energy every day. The sun provides us with new energy every day, but matter is different. Matter must be recycled. So energy leaves the system. I don't want to do that. Energy leaves the system while matter is constantly recycled. Constantly recycled. So we have all the matter we're ever going to have. We have all the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. We can't make any more of that stuff. That's all we got on Earth. But thanks to decomposers, when something dies, the decomposers break it down and return all those elements to the biosphere so it can be used again. That's kind of confusing. All right, using the food web. So 7, what is this thing? It's called a food web. It's a food web. The grass uses sunlight to turn carbon dioxide into food. This makes it an autotroph. Autotroph / consumer. Oh, there's a bell to go to 8th period again. In the diagram above, name one organism that is both a secondary and a tertiary consumer. Secondary and tertiary. All right, let's see if we can find one here. All right, so Mr. Fox, he's a secondary. 1, 2, secondary. 1, 2, secondary. So not him. Probably the hawk. When he eats rabbits, primary, secondary. Whoa, how about when he eats... Oh, man, I got to figure this out. No. Mountain lion. Let's try him. Okay, yes. All right, this will work. Mountain lion is both the secondary. So when he eats beavers, I like to go red. When he eats beavers are primary, so put a 1. And when he eats a beaver, he's a secondary, so a 2. You don't have to write this, but let's see a different path. We can go this one. The squirrel eats the tree. He's a primary consumer. The fox eats the squirrel, so he's a secondary consumer. And now when a mountain lion eats a fox, he's a tertiary. All right, so we're going to put mountain lion, who's both a secondary and tertiary. Might be another one on there, but I don't want to look for all of them. Mountain lion. How many heterotrophs are in the diagram? So it's everything except the trees and the grasses. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 12, unless I missed one. Close enough. 12. Identify a possible food chain in this diagram that consists of a producer, primary consumer, and a secondary consumer. All right, so producer, we can go grass. There's your producer. Gets eaten by mouse. There's your primary consumer. That gets eaten by the owl, which would be the secondary consumer. All right, identify a food chain up to tertiary. Great. We'll do the one with the mountain lion. So we'll go tree, squirrel, fox. That's your so producers, primary, secondary comes to tertiary, mountain lion. Identify 3 herbivores, things that only eat plants. Beaver, squirrel, rabbit. Beaver, squirrel, and rabbit. Identify 3 carnivores, so they only eat other animals. Fox, mountain lion, hawk. Snake too, but so fox, hawk, mountain lion. Fox, hawk, mountain lion. Those are carnivores. They only eat animals. They don't eat plants. So I put 15, put it in the box. You know what breaks down organisms when they die? Those are the decomposers. You can see them right here. That's the mushrooms. Mushrooms aren't plants. They're fungi. They're decomposers. Earthworms, and this is supposed to be bacteria. So those are our decomposers. All right, who are my producers? Grass and trees. Grass and trees. Grass and trees. Don't need to use all the boxes. Makes it a lot easier. All right, who are the primary consumers? Things that only eat plants. Beaver, squirrel, rabbit, mouse, grasshopper. So beaver, squirrel, rabbit, mouse. Beaver, squirrel, mouse. Who else? Beaver, squirrel, mouse, rabbit, grasshopper. Rabbit and grasshopper. Rabbit, grasshopper. And if there's a few more, who cares? I got most of them. Secondary consumers, things that eat the primary consumers. So we're going to go, let's just do, so we'll go fox. We'll go bird, frog, owl, fox. That's good enough. Bird, frog, owl, fox. Bird, frog, owl, fox. Tertiary consumers. I know the mountain lion's one. The snake, 1, 2, 3. Wait, so level, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Snake is also a tertiary. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Hawk is also a quaternary. We're going to put mountain lion and snake. That's good enough. Mountain lion and snake. Snake. All right, construct. Oh, I got to do the food web. All right, so I got to draw these arrows. Grass makes its own food. So, all right. Snakes eat mice. So here's the snake, there's the mouse. So the mouse is going into the snake. Energy is going from the mouse to inside the snake. Toads eat beetles. Toad eats beetles. All right, so beetle goes into the toad. Rabbits, mice, beetles, and deer eat grass. All right, so grass goes to the rabbit. Beetle eats grass. What else? Mice. And of course, the deer eats grass. Owls that eat mice and toads. Owls eat mice and toads. So toad goes into the owl. What else does he eat? Owls eat mice and toads. Where's the mouse can go way over here. All right, so mice and toads go into the owl. Foxes eat rabbits and mice. Fox eats rabbits and mice. Cougar eats the deer. What else? How about the eagle? Cougar eat deer. Eagles eat rabbits, snakes, and owls. All right, so eagles eat owls, rabbits, and snakes. All right, so you can see nothing eats the eagle, nothing eats the cougar. They're the top level consumers. All right, so that's done. Last thing, we're going to draw 2 ecological pyramids. So I'm going to do it like this, get my this. Start in the middle. I need a triangle. Here comes my pyramid. All right, didn't get it exactly in the middle, but it's good enough. And now I need 4 trophic levels. So 4 trophic levels. I need to make some lines. There's the bottom, that's the producers. Here come the primary consumers, trophic level. Here comes the secondary and tertiary trophic levels. All right, so on the bottom it says right here, the producers have 500,000 kilocalories of energy. So the producers down here at the bottom of the food chain have 500,000. Boom. Now, according to the 10% law, the primary consumers up here, they're only going to get 10% of that available energy. So these guys are only going to have 50,000 kilocalories because 50,000 is 10% of 500,000. These guys are only going to get 10% of the 50,000. So 10% is 5,000 kilocalories of energy. And the tertiary consumers at the top, they're only going to get 500 kilocalories of available energy. And over here, use the organisms from the food web. Oh, great. Well, I'm going to try to do my best. All right, well, let's do it. All right, so I need another triangle here. Try to get this one in the middle. It's not a triangle. All right, like shapes, triangle, middle. All right, a little better. And once again, I need 4 trophic levels. So here's my producers on the bottom. Primary consumers. And you got your secondary and tertiary consumers. All right, so who are my primary consumers? Grass. That's it. That's the only producers is grass. The only producer in this food web. Primary consumers, things that eat grass: rabbit, beetle, mouse, deer. Rabbit, beetle, mouse, deer. Rabbit, beetle, mouse, deer. Secondary consumers, things that eat that. That's going to be toad, fox, snake, owl. Toad, fox, snake, owl. Toad, fox, snake, owl. Toad, fox, snake, owl. And the tertiary consumers, that's the cougar, eagle. Cougar, eagle. I put it here. Cougar, eagle. Cougar, eagle. All right, there you have it. There is your ecological pyramids. There's your energy review worksheet. So 100% of you should turn it in and get full credit for it. All right, thanks for watching.